everyone. We ask the students to applaud and welcome our chief guest. Welcome the challenges and look for the opportunity in every situation to learn and grow in wisdom. With great pleasure, I extend a cordial invite to the conference on Leveraging AI for a Transformational Growth in Business and Insignia 2024. Taking our noon further, artificial intelligence is transforming the business industry with a great implication of traditional and neobank. This transition from a classic data AI-driven to an advanced generative AI has increased efficiency and client engagement never seen before in the banking sector. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is a progress. Working together is a success. With that, I invite Ms. Annie Ruth from 3rd BCom A&F to welcome the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I invite our distinguished guest, Ms. Sujata Iyer, who has graciously accepted our invitation to be here today. Ms. Sujata is a remarkable professional whose journey in the field of technology and artificial intelligence is truly inspiring. She is currently the manager of AI and security at Zoho Corporation, where she leads innovative efforts in the cybersecurity domain. With over 8 years of experience at Zoho, Ms. Sujata has made significant contributions. Her career at Zoho began in December 2015, where she initially served as a member technical staff. In this role, she was responsible for developing and scaling new features for the cloud product Zoho Sheets. Her passion for artificial intelligence led her to engineer various AI use cases, driving the company's efforts in this transformative field. In July 2017, Ms. Sujata took on the role of AI engineer and later became a deep learning engineer. During this time, she engineered a powerful neural network model in TensorFlow, which was designed to detect instantaneous mood changes of customers during their interactions with technical staff. This innovative model was not only deployed but also scaled to meet production demands. Additionally, she worked on fine-grained intent classification and drove research efforts for end-to-end automatic speech recognition, further solidifying her expertise in artificial intelligence. Today, we are privileged to have her share her insights and experiences with her. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Sujata Iyer. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Annie. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. I'm delightful to welcome Ms. Sujata S. Iyer, our esteemed chief guest, Manager AI Security, Zoho Corporation, to take up the stage. And I also call upon Dr. Annette Paul, ma'am, and Ms. Beena and Kangara, BCom, 2nd BCom B, will assist ma'am in presenting the memento to the chief guest. Students are requested to pay attention to the session since there will be a quiz at the end of the session. For the correct answer, token of appreciation will be applauded. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Wonderful being here. I see such enthusiastic crowd here. It's been wonderful addressing all of you. And yeah, so today I'm here to talk about AI in banking, how technology has played a pivotal role in transforming the banking sector per se. What is AI all about? There's so much hype about it. Is it the silver bullet? How does one get started? What are the different use cases of AI in banking? And what does one need to do to implement that? And what lies ahead? So this will be the agenda of the session. So to start off with, before we even get into AI, I'm sure all of us have used AI in our personal lives. So few of you might be having phones, you talk saying, okay, Google, play this song to me. Or you say, hey, Siri, if in case you have an iPhone, you say, hey, Siri, do this for me. Put an alarm at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then you use YouTube and you play some song or you play some video. The very next recommendation on the right side you see, right? And that recommendation is very close to what you were viewing currently. So how do you think all of this happens? All of this is AI. Without even us, most of us realizing it is AI, we've been using AI all around. So in our day-to-day lives, if AI has such a huge impact and it's giving a great impact here, think about what it could do to a sector such as banking, which is so crucial in this populated country. So even during COVID times, we remember, apart from the health services, it was banking that was, marked as an essential service. So keeping this in mind, it is one of the quintessential services that is helping transform our economy. So if we have a close look at the banking sector per se, technology has played a crucial role in shaping the sector. So 2-3 decades back, it was full of paper. So then the digital revolution came in, all of that was being made paperless. So you might remember your fathers or your grandfathers reminiscing about their visits to bank, how they would say there were so many ledgers. If you had to withdraw money, you had to make an entry in the withdrawal slip and then mark the denominations, the amount. But today that's not the case. I don't see anyone making a visit to a bank, making an entry in the withdrawal slip. All of that happens online, right? Or maximum you have a debit card, you swipe it at some ATM, get the cash and go forward. In fact, it is not even the cash now. It's more about UPI, using your credit card. So everything has become online. So last 2 decades or 15 years, they were very quintessential in transforming the heavily paper-based sector to a paperless sector. At least or 50-60% has been translated into paperless sector. Now, is this sufficient? Can banks just go on and on with the current digital landscape? No, it is pressing for much more needs. So this is where AI comes in. Let's look at how AI is going to help shape. So before that, we'll look into what AI is. AI is not the silver bullet here. It is a set of algorithms, certain set of machines that help mimic human intelligence. Like I was telling you, you're basically talking to your phone saying, asking the phone to put a reminder at 7 o'clock or alarm at 8 p.m. You do this to your friend, right? You do this to your sister. You ask your mom to wake you up. So there is this intelligence out here. It is understanding what you're saying. It is understanding saying 7 o'clock in the morning means it is next day. Because you're asking the phone to set a reminder at 8 o'clock in the night it's 8 o'clock in the night and you're asking the phone to put an alarm at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is next day 7 o'clock, not the next week. So there's a lot of context here. There's a lot of intelligence. Our mothers or our parents or siblings, they do it because there's a human intelligence factor here. So AI is about a set of algorithms, set of parameters that can be used to mimic human intelligence per se. Why now? One, because the banking industry as such is so overloaded, so overburdened that you have to inculcate process efficiency, customer experience, and whatnot. So gone are those days when I think all of us would have heard this joke on WhatsApp, right? Come after lunch is something that we usually hear. But that's not going to work out today. There are so many banks out there. If one customer doesn't want to go to a bank, there's another bank readily waiting to pounce on the customer and make it them. So this is one thing that has changed a lot. So this being the case, the customer experience is very important. So this calls for much more operational efficiency. The reason why apart from the joke part, there's a lot of burden that's on the bankers today. They not only have to do the core banking, there's a lot of cross-selling that they're expected to do. There's a lot of home loan processing, credit card processing, selling of bonds, golds. So bank is like the one-stop finance management, wealth management today. So it calls for a lot of customer experience improvement, process efficiency, operational efficiency, and there's this risk factor. Loans are basically banks' business, but that comes with a cost. You can't hand out loans like pamphlets. Because again, if there's a default that's happening, it's only going to contribute to the NPA of the bank, right? So there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of decision making that has to be done. So by inculcating AI, it helps banks be much more competitive. So these are some areas. So one is, like I said, customer service, fraud detection, lending process. So these are some key areas where AI can play a very crucial role in transforming those segments. Next slide. Yeah. So like I said, it is about increased efficiency. So you can automate a lot of tasks. So let's say a branch manager comes into a bank every day, and they have to look at the number of loans that are dispatched, the number of EMIs that have to be paid today, and what are the accounts that are open, the credit. At the end of the day, what are banks about? It is about the net should be zero, right? The credit and debit, all of that should add up. So there are a lot of repetitive processes that happen every day. So imagine if AI can come in here and help you understand, okay, this is their pattern. Instead of them going and doing it every day, why not put one dashboard, generate an automatic dashboard, an intelligent dashboard using AI, show it to them the first thing in the morning. So something that was taking up some 45 minutes of a branch manager's day, if that can be generated even before he or she comes to the bank, it saves lots and lots of time, which they can probably use it for other crucial decisions. Next is again enhanced customer service. So instead of me walking into every branch, asking for today's interest rates, today's deposit rates, what are the schemes for me. So these queries, which can typically be answered by using AI-based chatbots, they would bring in much more efficiency here, rather than having a person out there who has to answer endless queries. These queries are pretty much repetitive, right? I mean, if person A asks me what the deposit rate is, the answer is going to be the same even if person B comes in. So the queries are same, answers are same, it is just about catering to volume. So this is where AI can be very, very handy here. Another area is, again, improved risk management. Like I said, I was talking about loans, about creditworthiness and all of that. So today I hand out a loan. I can't just say, okay, hey, come on, I've received a loan application today, and they say they want a loan of 50 lakhs, let me just go and give it because it's a business to me. No, that can't be done. So I'll have to first look at their the entire profile, fetch their credit reports from CIBIL, CRIF, Equifax, Experian. There are four rating agencies, right? All the CIBIL score, all the credit scores have to be fetched. All the spending patterns, they have to be analyzed, and then a careful decision has to be made here, because this entire risk management is very crucial in the banking sector. Like I said, apart from this entire decision has to be data-driven. There is no scope for bias or any other factor to come in. Whether a person is going to be given a credit card or a loan, this has to be purely data-driven. It has to be, the entire decision has to be supported by facts here. So these areas strongly call for the need for AI in banking. Next slide. Yeah. Advantages of AI. Yes, cost reduction. So one is you can reduce operational costs. So today if someone fills in a form at the bank and they give it to the counter, someone has to sit, read the form, make a data entry into the software. So this data entry is the prime candidate for error introduction. A lot of us would have had the experience of our names being misspelled, mistyped in banks. Then you have to go visit again, say, hey, my name is spelled wrongly, my address has this missed character. This happens very frequently. Again, there's no one to blame here because there's too much workload, and this is something that's a mundane job. This is being done over and over for 100 forms a day or 200 forms a day. So imagine the plight of the person out there also. They're being overburdened here. So these are some prime candidates where AI can come in. So you have a form, AI can help you auto-scan the form and automatically make an entry in whichever tool the bank is using. Next is customer support. Like I said, you could have chatbots which could serve as the first level of customer experience instead of directly handing over the customers to the bank managers or support agents. AI chatbots can help on the first lane. You could talk with the chatbots, ask your queries in natural language. You don't even have to click. It is about typing. Hey, what is the interest rate today? What are the term deposit rates today? What is the RLLR? What is the MLLR? What is the MCLR? You tell me all this. So all of these are nothing but these queries are going to be answered based on the frequently asked questions or the knowledge base that the bank already has. So it is about understanding what the customer is asking, use techniques like natural language processing out here, translate the colloquial query into a reasonable answer. Next is scalability. Like I said, the questions that the customer asks, it is the same. Even if customer A asks the question or customer B asks the question, the answer is going to be the same. It is about catering to the huge volume out there. So this is where AI can help hugely. Next is regulatory compliance. Let's not forget about that, the most important part there. You have RBI, who's the master of all banks. They come up with regulatory rules, compliance rules, practically every quarter. And banks are left to the lurch. They have to comply to all of this, or else again they face the chances of penalties and fines and whatnot. So today, as I said, banking is not only about core banking per se. There's a lot of regulatory compliance, especially in a privacy and security aware world. There are a lot of scams happening, a lot of phishing scams. All of us would be aware of the fact that so many phishing scams happen, right? You get calls from saying, hey, I am from this so-and-so bank. Do you want a credit card? Press 1. Then we hear umpteen stories of how people have been facing fraud, they've lost money and whatnot. So RBI lays out strict regulations on how to comply to these frauds, what challenges, what are the activities that banks have taken to counter these fraud activities. So looking at the landscape, AI is no more a luxury per se, it has become a necessity. So once upon a time, digitization was a luxury, right? So banks were operating in complete paper format, so someone digitized, it was a wow factor, it was a luxury. But now we see the change here, right? So digitization has become the bare minimum. And now AI was probably seen as a luxury a decade back or something, but now AI has become a necessity rather than a luxury. Right, so we've seen how AI is needed, how things have shaped up. How does one get started to implement? One good thing to start off with is to assess the current challenges. See, given a problem, different banks might have different solutions to counteract, right? So some banks would prefer having chatbots for the first level of query, or some banks might prefer that to be routed to the every branch, so that in case they have some queries, it could possibly convert into sales. So the solution is something that is tailored to each bank. So the good idea is to find out what are the current challenges in the workplace. And a good idea is to start with low-risk projects. See, AI is something that's new, it's evolving. So don't go and plug in AI in the segment which gives out loans. Because in case AI's predictions are kind of off, you don't want your business to be jeopardized. So good idea would be to start with customer service, which is low risk, low-hanging fruit. You crack that. You know where to get started. You also build some internal expertise so that when you go forward, you have enough idea on what needs to be done. Next is to invest in proper data infrastructure. See, we talk about AI and all of that. AI essentially needs data, right? And that data has to be digitized. Data has to be uniformized. So for example, let's say SBI has a lot of branches in US also. And SBI has been pretty much the pinnacle here, no? So in India, we follow DDMMYY format. In US, it is MMDDYY format. So let's say the bank head wants to know region-wise reports. So region-wise, it means region-wise reports for the last quarter. So for the quarter, in India, it would be DDMMYY. In US, it is MMDDYY. So for AI to even chime in, there's a lot of uniformity that has to be taken place. Okay, this is US region. Okay, so the data has to be streamlined first. So these are areas which banks should focus before they even start off with AI. Next is to prioritize compliance and security. Like I said, AI needs data. Data means customers' data. And there's a very strict regulation from RBI saying how to handle customers' data. One customer's data should not be used for the betterment of some other customer. So there are a lot of compliance, security guidelines, privacy guidelines being laid out. So all these guidelines have to be taken care of. These have to be ensured that they are properly implemented before the AI is being rolled out. So here are some use cases in the banking sector. I'll probably pause for a few seconds for you to absorb this. So we'll be talking about these use cases in detail, how AI would be helping at each step in these use cases. Right, chatbots and virtual assistant. You place an order you would have been familiar with online shopping. You place an order on Amazon, you have issues with refund. You are not directly redirected to any customer support agent. You first have a bot that asks you, what is your order? What is this about? Do you have issues with the quality, or do you have issues with the way the product is shipped or how it is being done? So this is the first level of filtering I'm talking about. Someone has a grievance in the bank, so you have a grievance redressal. Most of the banks have the grievance redressal mechanism. But even before being redirected to the customer support agent or the branch associate, it's good to have a chatbot helping them out. Most likely, see, 90% of the queries would not be about issues per se, but about them figuring out where things are in the place. So one good idea is to have chatbots there. One thing is they provide you very quick real-time responses. So had this been done by a human agent out there, they would have shift timings, right? In India, it is generally 9 to 6. So let's say most of the customers would be doing their banking after 6 because they would be coming back after work. What do you do in those cases? So this is where AI can chime in. It can handle automative queries. It is available 24/7, and it helps you improve the accuracy and communication. So 90% of the queries are solved by your area. It is only the rest 10%, right? The 10% can easily be handled by the agents out there. So this is one very good starting place. This, as I was saying, start with something easy, something that is tangible, that is quantifiable. The very good place to start off would be chatbots. This is one very low-hanging fruit. You do it, you crack it, you build AI internal expertise, and then you can move on to the other solutions. Next. So suspicious login detection. So today there's a lot of fraud happening. You could possibly have your net banking credentials compromised. You could have your credit card details compromised. And let us say this compromise happens. So generally you log in from Chennai, Tambaram, and all of a sudden there's a login in net banking that is happening from, say, Noida, or let's say from some other country, from abroad. So how do you do this? It is not possible. You have a bank, it has some millions of customers per there. Impossible for a human to sit and monitor each person's login, logout details and see from which area they are logging in, what time they are logging in. It's impossible for someone to go through all of these manually. This is where AI can help you. So AI can intelligently understand that usually logins happen. This is customer A. Customer A is generally catered to by branch B, and the usually net banking login happens from Tambaram, Chennai. And this usually happens in the working hours. Let's say morning 8 to afternoon 3. But all of a sudden, there's a login that is happening from Noida, or there's a login happening from US. So this is something that is abnormal, that is deviating from the usual behavior. So the AI here can help you detect these unusual patterns and can help you raise an alarm or raise a flag. So this is something called as user behavior analysis. So with this, you can have better alerts, security alerts. So the idea here is to take a proactive stand rather than reactive stand. So what I mean here is credentials are compromised, money is stolen, amount transfer is made, and then you figure out that something wrong has happened. This is a reactive stand after things have happened. But with AI, the idea is to take a proactive approach. Okay, I've detected something is wrong. Let me immediately raise a flag. Let me probably block the account or raise an alert to the administrator saying there could be some possible compromise. Let me take a proactive stand. So this way, you're preventing financial frauds before it can possibly happen. The next one is, again, credit card fraud detection. So I think there was a report by RBI saying the credit card issuance is on the spike, right? In fact, few banks were even asked to be aware of how many credit cards they are leaving in. So with credit cards, it's very easy. See, you can, and especially last 5-6 years, the tap and pay has taken a huge shape, right? You can virtually tap your card, any POS machine. So there was this one curious article, I think from Delhi or something, so where a person had their credit card in their wallet, they were traveling in metro. All it took was one POS machine. So there was a scammer who was having the POS machine. He would just randomly go tap into the wallets. And because the tap and pay was configured, it was about stealing amounts in smaller deviations, 100 rupees per day. They won't even notice it is being stolen. And at the end of the month, 100 rupees per day into 30 days, 3,000 rupees. That's when people even realize they've lost 3,000 rupees. So these are very, very new ways. Scammers are being very innovative, very intelligent. So to counteract them, you only need AI to do that. So this is where credit card fraud detections and all come in. So every day, the same amount goes in. And that is not happening at a trusted POS. It is happening at some random POS machine. It's happening every day. So it's a good idea to identify these anomalous patterns. Because see, every day I'm not going to, most likely nobody is going to spend 100 rupees, exact 100 rupees every day. Even if you eat at a restaurant, you might eat 2 idlis today, you might have 1 dosa tomorrow. It is not going to be the exact 100 rupees every day at the same time. So these are some patterns AI can help you detect immediately and raise an alert in case something is being suspicious or something is of doubt. So this way you can prevent unauthorized transactions before it even goes to a very high level. Next is again intelligent automation. So with banks, there are a lot of things that happen every day, day in, day out. Customers walk in, they give their, even the SB account, even if you have to open an SB account, the SB accounts are not going to be opened immediately, right? They would collect the SB account opening form, your photo, all of this, like maybe at least some 5 to 6 SB account opening forms would be clubbed together. Then the data entry is made, and then this data has to be probably fed into the CRM of the bank. So all of this is basically one workflow, one automated task that could be repeated. So using AI, what you could do is scan the documents, get the fields, get the name card, automatically fill it in the software, set up a workflow saying all these records have to be synced with the CRM, generate automatically and report to the branch manager so that they can have a view on how many accounts were open today, what is the average amount balance in each account. So these are ways AI can completely help automate these tasks so that operational efficiency is much better there. Another area, interesting area, is again credit modeling. So like I said, it is not about giving loans or giving credit cards just like you hand out pamphlets. It is about doing a proper data-driven decision where you analyze all the parameters. So let's say someone comes in asking for a credit card. I have to first do a proper analysis of their spending patterns, their behavior, what their CIBIL score is, what was their default rate, did they default in any of the earlier payments. These are parameters that bank very crucially looks at. Only then they are supposed to give a loan or a credit card. So not only that, after you issued a loan, it's also about predicting how likely something could possibly go wrong. See, not everyone is going to be picture perfect in repaying home loans. We do, and that is basically the reason why banks are facing the issue of NPA, right? So after a credit commodity is being given, let's say credit card or home loans, it is also about predicting the likelihood of how likely they would default. In case the chances are higher, it is important to keep a tab on the customer, ensure the repayments are being made on time. So in this entire landscape, you see AI can beautifully chime in here. The entire analysis looking at various patterns. So AI is good at one very good thing. It can beautifully analyze patterns. It can do a lot of number crunching. It can look at historical data and tell you what are things that one should be aware of, some frequent patterns. It can do beautiful forecasting. It can say how likely one is, very likely to, in case one is very likely to default on the payments, it can give you a score on how likely it could happen. So with all this information, banks can be very, very prepared. The entire decision is data-driven. There's no scope for bias. So these are some very, very important areas where AI can chime in. Next is cross-selling. Most of us would be aware. So we go to a bank, you take a loan. Most likely they say, do you want to take a insurance? Do you want to take a ULIP? Do you want to maybe invest in some saving scheme? The idea here is to not just give them recommendations or tell them that these are various products. It is about recommending the right product so that the likelihood of sale is increased. So let's say someone already has an insurance with the bank and they've made a claim and they are ill or something. At this point of time, you don't want to recommend a home loan product or a credit card product to them, right? You would most likely want to sell your health insurance top-up schemes to them so it is actually useful for them and you also make a sale. Similarly, let's say someone has defaulted on a home loan. You should not be ideally recommending a credit card to them. It is about recommending the right product. The idea of cross-selling is to recommend the right product and increase the likelihood of sale. So again, here you see there's a beautiful pattern analysis, pattern behavior analysis that comes in. So you look at the historical data. What are the products that the customer is already using? How much are they using? Are they using it effectively? And now that they have been a credit-worthy customer, what is the next product I could possibly recommend so that they also make a purchase? So with all of these areas, once you incorporate AI, there's a huge potential for revenue increase. eKYC. Yeah, so all of you would be aware of eKYC now. Especially after Aadhaar has been introduced, Aadhaar is being interchangeably used with eKYC. So essentially, know your customer. So this know your customer, if you see, it was probably done by RBI around, I think it was introduced in 2005. But I think once Aadhaar was very prominent, it became, I mean, it was issued. RBI laid very strict guidelines that KYC should be done. So by KYC, the bank should, by what RBI means by KYC is that the bank should have the entire customer database. What their Aadhaar is, what their PAN is, what their place of residence is, their photo, and all of that. So I think by 16 times Aadhaar was being issued and everyone had to do the KYC again. So there was a huge queue at the bank. So my dad is a banker. I remember my dad telling me that there was a huge queue at the banks where people had to come in with their copy of Aadhaar, copy of PAN, a photograph, and then a signature, and give it to the bank. Everyone had, there was a person at the branch catering to this apart from the banking activities that were happening. This was such a tedious process, such a cumbersome process, that it was a huge headache. And this is where AI can come in. So AI can help you automate the identity verification part. So let's say the customers bring in documents and you just feed it to a system that maybe a scanner or something. AI can automatically identify if the document is Aadhaar or not, if it is PAN or not, if it can do a identity verification there. Immediately, you had your Aadhaar and PAN linked, they can check if the AI can help you check if the PAN and Aadhaar are linked, if they actually belong to a person, and if that person is the same as the person who has turned up. So imagine someone sitting at the counter, manually going through everyone's Aadhaar card, PAN card, photograph, signature, making an entry, taking a crop of the signature, asking them to sign. Instead of all of this being done by a human, you could have AI that is automating it. So let's say you could only process some 30 KYC per day. With AI, it could easily increase to maybe some 3x, 4x, 100, 150 KYCs. It can be easily done in a day. So here you see, right, there's a beautiful scope for increase in the number of customers you cater to. There's a lot of process efficiency that has been incorporated. So this way, you are reducing the onboarding time. So today, if you have to open a new account, it is about doing a eKYC first, right? Had this been done manually, the onboarding itself would have taken time. See, nobody wants to come to wants to go to a bank during their working hours. All of us are working, so it's very important. The interaction at the bank is very minimal, it is very fruitful, it is very meaningful there. So this onboarding time can easily be reduced using AI. So this enhances your customer experience, practically eliminating the need for in-person walk-ins. Yeah, signature mismatch. So forgery is something we would have heard in the banking sector, where you have checks have to be signed, and that sign is being forged today. How do you detect forgery? Today, the onus is on the banker to understand if these two signatures are the same. But then again, it is being done by a human. There is scope for error introduction. So this is where AI can come in. AI can beautifully analyze signatures and say if these two signatures are the same, or are they forged, or are they equal, or are they mismatching. So mismatching is different, forging is different, right? So mismatching is where, as humans, over a period of time, your signature might also change. The curve in the S might be smaller. So these are minimal cases of mismatch, which you could possibly ask the customer, hey, there's a mismatch. Do you want to come and sign again? This is okay. But how do you identify forgery? Forgery requires a very knack skill on identifying how exactly the signature is panning out. Is there any very subtle difference in the way the signature is being placed? So this requires a lot of careful introspection on how signatures are being written. So this is where AI can come in. So there are techniques like handwritten recognition, which can help you understand how a person's signature is, and next time the signature comes in, it can do a beautiful visual comparison of the two signatures and can tell you if there's a chance of forgery or not, or if there's something suspicious is happening or not. So this way you prevent document frauds. So frauds are costly. I mean, there'll be a lot of legal litigations. So it's better you prevent it. That is exactly what I meant by taking a proactive stand here. So it's better you take a proactive stand rather than letting the document forgery happen and then encounter legal litigation later. Next, customer sentiment. So sentiment analysis is one of the pioneers in AI. So no matter what the business is, banks, hotels, hospitality sector, customer sentiment is what would play a crucial role in business. So it's important to capture customer sentiment, especially the negative sentiment. In case they are feeling negative about something, they're not happy about something, they express displeasure, it's important to make a note of it and analyze what went wrong so that you can cater to the customers better. So today, most of the negative sentiments happen via social media, right? You go to Twitter, you go to Facebook, you tag the corresponding handle and say, hey, I have an issue with Amazon written, I have an issue with this bank, I went for a loan, the EMIs wasn't debited, or the credit card is not activated, I have issues with using my debit card. So all of these negative sentiments, most likely today they're happening on social media. It is not possible for humans like you. How many humans are you going to employ? Think about the number of customers, number of branches, number of regions you're catering to, and number of social media posts they are going to make in case they are not happy with the solution proposed. So it's important you use tools, so social media tools, which can scan your social media handles, and here AI can beautifully fit into the tools. In case, these tools are capable of scanning social media and give you posts. Now, sentiment analysis can be applied on top of this post to identify if the sentiment is positive, negative, neutral. Let's leave alone positive for right now. Let's concentrate on the negative part. So these sentiment analysis model, they can give you a heat map, maybe tell you which are the words that are using most frequently to express displeasure, negativity, and out there. So by addressing these areas, you can probably come up with better strategies. See, if they are facing issues with the debit cards, good idea to look at increasing the number of points of presence so that you cater to customers better. So these ways, you can identify pain points in your customer service, and you can in fact tailor products that better suit the customer needs. So this way you can engage with dissatisfied customers and resolve issues. So something that's happening on social media is okay, but what if they go ahead, there's no response from the social media handle, and they go file an issue with the RBI ombudsman, or they file an issue at CP Grams? You would be aware of all of those, right? So when it escalates, the process is even more tedious. There's a lot of legal litigation that banks would also have to face. So nip the bud at the moment itself. So you go, find out that there's something wrong, even in the social media handles itself, you find out that customers are dissatisfied or they're unhappy, address immediately before it even escalates. Financial forecasting. So like I said, today banks are more about, they're not only about core banking, they're also about the one-stop solution for all the wealth management. So banks are no more about selling out loans, cash withdrawals. They're also about selling. You can practically go to a lot of branches and ask for gold bonds, mutual funds, insurance schemes. There are a lot being sold by banks. So they become, ultimately, considering India's diverse population, they become the point for your portfolio or wealth management. So it's important you have AI here. You can analyze the historical data and predict the market trends. So say, hey, Nifty is extremely down. Last 3 months, it was a bear market. So it's better, you start recommending alternate forms of investment, maybe sovereign gold bonds or NHAI bonds, some different types of instrument rather than equity. So for this recommendation to even come in, AI can beautifully fit in here. It is like I said, it is very capable of doing number crunching. It can look at historical data, and it can also make a prediction on how likely the market trend would be in the future. So looking at these powerful insights given by AI, the portfolio manager or whoever is the personnel out there, they can make much better recommendations, much better useful recommendations. So this can help with proper budgeting, planning, and identifying financial risk. So over a period of time, when customers also see better recommendations coming in, it's only going to increase the confidence and accuracy over a period of time. Next. Yeah, filled form digitizations. Like I was saying, the prime candidate for incorrect data creeping into the system is basically data entry. These are the most mundane tasks. One is, would you enjoy just looking at forms every day, typing in whatever is there? It is a necessary evil. It has to be done as a part of the system. But how do we do it? How do we introduce AI here is just scan the document, intelligently extract the fields. So in the SB account opening form, most likely the first part is name, next is date of birth, next is gender, next is your area of residence. So these are the fields that are most important for KYC. AI can beautifully handle it. It can automatically scan the filled forms, do a digitization on top of it, automatically extract data, and thereby minimizing the errors that could possibly be introduced. Next. Anti-money laundering. So this is one thing that comes under the regulatory part. So there are a lot of measures by RBI and in the banking sector to curb this anti-money laundering. So AI can beautifully come in. It can continuously monitor financial transactions and detect any unusual amount of data, unusually amount of money that's probably flowing back and forth. So these suspicious activities can easily be detected. They would most likely be illegal if there's too much volume of money being transferred, and these alerts could be thrown real time. So this way, once the anti-money laundering and it is being done with AI, it's very easy to comply with the regulatory guidelines. Next. Customer churn prediction. So today, it is not only about catering to customers, it is also about making them stay loyal. Like I said, it is not about losing a customer, it is about the gain of the customer for some other bank. So banking has become an extremely competitive industry, so it's important to stay on top of customers' needs, what they want, etc. So customer churn, what I mean here is predict the probability of how likely they'll leave. In case there's a high chance that they are leaving, AI can again come in, give you the patterns that they are doing. Let's say one is a power customer, they have a salary account, but they are not really making any transactions. Every month the salary comes in, immediately the entire amount is being transferred to another bank. And they're not really using many features of the bank. They're not using credit cards, they're not bothered with the debit cards, there's not much use of internet banking as such. So these are areas which AI can beautifully do a lot of number crunching and tell you that these are areas that's happening. It's a good idea to get in touch with a customer, explain them, give them ideas that these are different features or products that the bank has, and maybe make them stay loyal and keep them engaged in the existing bank. Yeah, next. Personal finance. Like I said, it's about banks have become the first step, the first entry point about when people want to do a lot of investments. Today there's a lot of awareness also. Those were the days where our fathers believed PPF was the way of investment. There's a lot of awareness about equity. There's a lot of awareness about debt instruments, F&O market, whatnot. So for all of this, invariably, even today, banks are the first stop. So there are a lot of financial advisors the banks also have, for them to cater to the customer's needs. So it's important you do a right recommendation. Let's say someone's entire portfolio is already equity heavy. You don't want to again sell mutual funds to them, because all of us know it is about diversifying your portfolio, having a good balance of equity and debt instruments. So in these cases, it's important that you do a proper recommendation of the portfolio. So AI here can help you analyze portfolio and give you a big picture of where the customer is probably should be having a keen look at. What are the areas they could possibly diversify their portfolio? This way, the recommendations that come in from the bank professional is very accurate, and this also brings in confidence. Next. HNI customers. So banks do have a certain set of customers called as HNI customers. They are high net worth individuals. So these are individuals who are giving a lot of business to the bank. So what I mean is, generally they would have a current account. Their SB account balance would be very high. So for these customers, it's important banks cater to them very properly. I'm not saying the other customers have to be left to lurch, but these are customers whom banks have special interest to, because they bring a lot of business to the bank. So how do you identify? So the first step goes into identifying these HNI customers. each branch manager is not going to be possible. Given the amount of workload that they have, they can't manually sit through the SB account details, this current account details, the various products they are using. It is not possible for a human to sit and do all of that. So AI can come in, it can do a first level analysis of these patterns, identify who are the HNI customers, and then support, and then create proper targeted retention strategies. So let's say someone is maintaining a very high balance in the SB account. Good idea to probably give them proper investment ideas on what they could possibly do. So this way, you create products that are tailor-made to them. So this essentially increases your ROI on marketing spend. Next. Yeah, regulatory compliance. Compliance today has become very important. Like I said, RBI has so many rules, so many regulations. So it is not only about doing banking, it's also about staying relevant, reduce the risk of human error so that you don't mishappenly enter someone's credentials somewhere else, right? Everything has to be picture perfect. Banking is one sector where there's absolutely no scope for error. Because you are dealing with data, with money of someone else. So if something goes wrong, immediately there's going to be legal litigation. And today's privacy-aware world, there's a lot of focus on privacy and security. And RBI has also become very privacy-aware, security-aware. So you have to be compliant to all the guidelines that are being laid by the RBI. So this is where AI can help in. Like I said, you minimize data, you minimize the error. The first step is where data introduction is happening. So you have AI there, it automatically extracts data. Next, you have AI in customer support. It can reduce the banking load. Third, you have better insights for the manager. Four, you give better recommendations. So this entire way, this way, when AI is plugged in the entire pipeline, you have lesser inaccuracies creeping in. You have better, accurate predictions, and you're able to stay much more compliant. Next. Last but not least, security is the most important. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, last but I think running short of time, so yeah. Last but not least, it is security that is at the forefront, right? So there are a lot of phishing campaigns. All of us would have encountered, we would have randomly received SMS from banks saying, please click on the link, avail digital loan in 10 seconds. Please press 1 to confirm your need for a credit card. All of these are scams. How does one stay relevant? You even have mails coming into your mailbox saying, this mail is coming from so-and-so bank, please click on this link for personal loan in instant 10 seconds. All of these are examples of phishing mails. And how are we going to be digitally aware? At least we can be digitally aware. What about our parents? Or what about the previous generation who's not even very digitally aware? What are they going to do? So this is where AI can come in. So AI can easily detect if an email is going to be phishing, or if an email or a possible call is a scam or not. If it is scam, it can immediately raise the alert. So this way, you can ensure a fraud doesn't happen. That is, you nip it off immediately before it even goes to the advanced stages. Next part is bank's infrastructure. You have to secure the bank's infrastructure, right? You can't let some random malware come in, random virus coming in. We have Windows, most of you would have laptop, you would have antivirus solutions installed. So these are low risk endpoints, but bank server, the entire infrastructure is very crucial. There's no scope for malware or something to be introduced. So it's important AI is being used here. It can give, in case there is a malware file that is probably crept in, AI can immediately raise an alert. It says, hey, there's a malware. It's trying to access your registry files. It is trying to create havoc in your system. So be cautious. And AI can continuously learn from past attacks. So some malware like this has already crept in the system. It has created havoc. It's important next time something comes in, keep a vigilant eye. So this way, you're properly securing all the endpoints. You're securing the customers, you're securing the bank infrastructure. So this way, you also ensure that you are properly adhering to security guidelines too. So next slide. Yeah, so to summarize, we've seen use cases where AI can be helpful. So AI is the future. AI is no longer luxury, but it has become a necessity per se. Data is the key. Important to start with data streamlining, data digitalization. Only after that is done can AI even chime in. So AI can definitely help you drive, innovate, efficiency. And good idea is to start small, think big, start with low-lying fruits, analyze your needs. Start with low-risk projects so that you build expertise over time, and over time you can have AI plugged in a lot of places. So this way you can embrace continuous learning and stay competitive in the AI in the banking sector. That brings it to the end of my presentation. Thank you. It was lovely interacting with all of you.
it's time for the Q&A session. I'll throw the first question. The person who's answering is kindly requested to come forward and give the answer. First question, which is the AI tool that is used 24/7 to answer queries? People can come forward. Is anyone else willing to answer? Yeah. You can please come forward. Yeah, you can come forward. Come up.
Chatbots that help to query them.
She's right. I request Dr. Annette ma'am to give her appreciation for her answer. Next question. What is the abbreviation of HNI customer? People can come forward.
High net worth individual.
That's the right answer. I request the chief guest to give our token. In the garden of life, gratitude is waters nourishing the seeds and kindness and goodwill. I now call upon Darwin from 2nd BCom to deliver the oath of thanks.
A pleasant good afternoon to everybody gathered here. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, it is my honor and privilege to extend a heartfelt thank you to all those who made today's conference session a success. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to esteemed guest speaker, Mrs. Sujata S. Iyer, Manager at AI Security, Zoho Corporation. Your insightful presentation on how AI is transforming the banking sector has been both eye-opening and inspiring. We are grateful for your time, your expertise, and for sharing your valuable knowledge with us today. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Head of Department, Dr. Nirmala Mohan, ma'am, whose guidance and vision have always led us in the right direction. A special thank you to our conference convener, Dr. B. Johanna Jasmine, ma'am, whose hard work and dedication ensured the seamless execution of today's event. Your efforts truly made this day possible. To all faculty members, your continuous support and encouragement inspire us to strive for excellence. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my fellow friends for active participation. It is our enthusiasm and eagerness to learn that make events like this worthwhile. Let's take what we have learned today and apply it to academic and professional journeys ahead. Thank you all once again, and I hope we continue to have more insightful sessions like this.
Students are requested to give their attendance to respective classes, and we'll break for lunch. And the next session starts by 3 o'clock.